Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello to the alumni, to the distinguished faculty, to artists and all participants whose lives have been touched by this unique program. My name is Monica Dionysiou, class of 2013, and I am honored to be the facilitator of the event today. And before I begin, I just want to say thank you to those who made this event possible. Thank you to Stacy Sickler on the development team, who has really proven to be a fierce voice for alumni in the Naropa community. Thank you to Danielle Mason in the development office and to Chuck Leaf, who made this event possible. Thank you to Leslie Gracia, who's been my right hand today and often is my right hand. Thank you to the core faculty and the alumni volunteers who helped put this event together in its many different iterations that it's had since we started planning in February. Thank you to all of the alumni who have endured my endless emails of requests and announcements, and you'll only be receiving a few more throughout the end of the month, which will include update videos, and a compilation of media that many of you shared with me. I also want to just let everybody know, I think Leslie mentioned this a moment ago, that following the ceremony, the alumni will have an opportunity to join a breakout room with your cohort so that you all can catch up and see each other. And if you haven't already done so, update your name, because we are going to use what you have in your parentheses to mute and unmute you when the time comes for the ceremony. So let us begin, as we always do, with a bow. As you know, we are here today to celebrate the present, the past, and the future of the Naropa MFA Contemporary Performance Program. Today we celebrate the yield, the push, the reach, the grasp, and the pull. We celebrate the space, shape, time, kinesthesia, emotion, and story. We celebrate the I begins and the we ends. We celebrate all sounds equally. We celebrate viva negativa. We celebrate kinesthetic delight. And we celebrate our out-breath. And we mind the gap. We begin today, as always, in the present moment. It's somewhat of a miracle that we're all here together today, while still being in our individual spaces all over the world. At this time, I encourage everyone to select a gallery view so that you may see all who have joined today. Scroll through the view and notice each other. Notice your own experience of noticing each other. And from this place, I invite anyone who wishes to come together in collective sound. I'm going to unmute everyone's microphones in a moment so that we may all hear each other. And I'm going to invite Leslie to start us off.
Hi, Hadley.
Any sound?
Bring your plate inside.
Thank you all so much. I wish it wasn't such an abrupt ending with the muting of all, but alas, so it is. That was quite beautiful in spirit, if not in sound, but well, all sounds are equal, so thank you, thank you. At this time, I encourage everyone to return to speaker view for the remainder of the event. Thank you for being here and collecting with us today. This present moment in time has brought upon a slew of challenges, and that is certainly true for the graduating students in the 2020 cohort. They have just completed their thesis performances via Zoom. I hope that many of you were able to tune in to some of those. And they are preparing to put on their caps, figuratively, of course, for the official graduation ceremony next weekend. So for the next 12 minutes, we offer a tribute from the alumni past to the graduates of now.
Congratulations, class of 2020, coming from Tennessee. Don't be fooled by the background. My name is Joe Gill, class of 2012, and so glad that you're part of our lineage. Namaste, and live, breathe, and be happy. Thank you all.
Hi, Naropa family. My name is Melissa McNamara, and I graduated the MFA program in 2010. I just wanted to say congratulations on graduating. It's such a big deal. And good luck on all your future endeavors. If you're ever in Los Angeles, look me up. Naropa is family.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. This is Hannes from the class of 2012, and I live in Bangkok, Thailand, but I'm originally from Shimoda, Japan. As you go out of the Naropa community, you might need a little bit thicker armor around your heart. But always remember that your very presence will shift the world around you. Congratulations again! Ha!
Hi 2020 graduates, my name is Kate and I'm a 2015 graduate of the MFA Contemporary Performance Program. I just want to say congratulations on all of your hard work, and I'm so happy that you're entering this crazy world that we're in. I wish you the best. You're so well equipped to be entering into the world as it is right now, and I can't wait to hear what you do next. Congrats.
Aloha and congratulations, Naropa class of 2020. My name is Lisa Adeva Samoy and I am a 2009 MFA graduate.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm Jason Torres Hancock, class of 2011, calling out to you from San Francisco. I got this fabulous dress from a closet at Naropa my first year from Moment Work. I took it after graduation and created a dance performance piece that I got into a festival in New York City in 2013. I hope that the gifts that you discovered at Naropa take you far.
Hello, class of 2020. I'm Tatiana Parker, and I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. I did graduate in the class of 2019. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to get to know you, work with you, and witness some of your growth within your first year. I know this journey hasn't been easy, and for you to make it all the way until the end goes to show your strength as well as your resilience. I can't wait to see where you're heading next in your artistic journeys. Much love and many blessings.
Hi, class of 2020. This is Kelly Thomas, and I graduated in 2011, and I'm currently in St. George, Utah. And I just wanted to say congratulations to you guys. You have accomplished something absolutely amazing. And now you're part of a really great lineage. It's your turn now to go out and take everything you learned and make work that you feel connected to and that inspires the world. And just know that we're all here behind you, and we're all so very proud of you. Congratulations and cheers.
Hi there, and congratulations to the Naropa Contemporary Theater Performance graduating class of 2020. Woohoo, you made it. I'm so proud of all of you. My name is Kate Kohler-Amory, and I'm a graduate from 2008, and just wishing you congratulations and welcome to this amazing community of artists.
Hi everyone. This is I don't know how many attempts we've tried to make this video, but I actually put
Congratulations, class of 2020.
Oh, we love you.
We love you.
We love you all, and I am so grateful. I can't speak for my husband.
Love you.
I'm pretty grateful.
I'm just grateful.
I'm pretty grateful.
That I got to work with all
that
of
I
you.
got to work with
that
all
I
of you.
did.
No. This is kind of a...
We love you, and I can't wait to see all the amazing, beautiful things that you put out creatively in the world.
Now party!
Bye. Harper, say goodbye.
Graduating class of 2020. My name is Bradley Spann, and I'm speaking to you from Philadelphia, PA, and I was in the graduating class of 2009. Just wanted to take a moment to say welcome to the family. I know how difficult it was to get through the program, and circumstances for you made it even that much more difficult. I wish I could be there in person, but circumstances. So anyway, welcome to the family. Do know that I'm here in Philly, and if you're ever in the neighborhood, you do have a place to stay. I have a sofa and food to offer you. So congratulations and welcome to the family.
Hello, MFA class of 2020. I'm Liz Stanton. I live here in New York City, and I'm from the class of 2006, the first class. I'm wishing you a happy graduation. Congratulations. And hey, I hope to see you in New York City sometime. I wish you all the best.
Hello and congratulations, class of 2020. Woo! I wish you well in the years to come. Congrats.
Hello, class of 2020. Congratulations to you. I'm so stoked for you all. My name is Nita June. I went to the Naropa Contemporary Performance Program a couple years ago. I graduated with the class of 2009. And I'm just here wishing you all the best and the brightest of everything for your future. You guys are awesome. And it's such a wonderful time to be an artist. Blessings.
Congratulations on your graduation, class of 2020. I'm Monica Dionysiou from the class of 2013, speaking to you from the exotic land of Denver, Colorado. And I just want to make sure that you know that you're not alone. As you step out into the world, there's a whole community of MFA graduates who are here to support you and who want to support you. So please reach out. And also, now that you're done, have some fun.
Congratulations, Naropa MFA in Contemporary Performance graduating class of 2020. I feel so fortunate that I got to work with you in your first year in the program, and I feel so fortunate that you are the class that is going to bring our ending to a full close. We in the class of 2006 are so excited to welcome you to the cohort, and we look forward to the beautiful work you're going to make in this world.
The following traditional prayer is from the Navajo people and can be found in many places. The original author of this beautiful blessing is unknown.
Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me. Beauty is behind me. Above and behind me. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me. Beauty is behind me. Above and behind me. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me. Beauty is behind me. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me.
Luck in the MFA adventure. Out to the world we go.
Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me.
In beauty I walk, with beauty before me I walk, with beauty behind me I walk, with beauty above me I walk, with beauty around me I walk. It has become beauty again. Today I will walk out, today everything negative will leave me. I will be as I was before. I will have a cool breeze over my body. I will have a light body. I will be happy forever. Nothing will hinder me. I walk with beauty before me. I walk with beauty behind me. I walk with beauty below me. I walk with beauty above me. I walk with beauty around me. My words will be beautiful. In beauty all day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty below me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age wandering on a trail of beauty, living again may I walk. My words will be beautiful.
All right. Thank you. That last piece there was a gift from the first class who started in 2004, graduated in 2006, to the class of 2020. Wow. It has been said that we cannot truly examine the present without understanding the context by which it comes to us. And it is our past that presents the present moment. With that, it is my honor to introduce a man who needs no introduction, the visionary and founder of the MFA program, our teacher, Wendell Beavers.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, everyone. Going through the class of 2006, the first class, we all owe them an unbelievable, it's beyond a debt. I don't know what we would really call it. And they were like courageous. They stepped into something that was, if you thought you were stepping into the unknown when you came to the program in years, successive years, they were stepping totally into a wonderful cliff-like open space. So, it was fantastic to see them. And there's a total connection between the Joe, the beginning, and the Q, the end, for sure. And this graduating class, people have been remarking about it for the last 2 years, really, what a fitting ending for this program, for this class to be this class that's graduating. So I'm going to read something because I just have to, as you all know, and I'm going to stick with my time frame. And I'm not sure what all this means myself. So perhaps just close your eyes and just listen, or you can open them whenever you like. Consider returning to the origins of the MFA vision and the view or the pedagogy, and what was that? I have to say also that I'm reading this obviously for myself as much as for you. So I'm looking back and I'm going, what was that? What was that? Well, leap before you look. A guiding principle of Black Mountain College, an old school 20th century avant-garde notion. Leap before you look. Jo Ha-Q, beginning, middle, end. A good Jo contains the middle and the end. And we are at this moment at the cue of the spectacular striking action that was begun in 2002, a striking action. It is enormously satisfying to come to an end, and I, for one, am grateful because without an end, there can be no beginning again. And when in doubt, breathe out and give up all hope of fruition. That's how I'm working these days. And leap before you look. The ceremony is an acknowledgement that we did well, that we accomplished something extraordinary against all odds and something very, very important. This is a ceremony acknowledging that this portion of our journey is over and we are free to truth tell, dream, live wholly in liminal space, be unaccountable, in short, be the artists that we are. We are, in short, institution free at this point, and this will allow us to create new forms from scratch that meet the current circumstances. This is a ceremony of gratitude, enormous gratitude for all the people associated with Naropa who spent thousands of hours in support of every minute that we could spend in the studios these last 15 years. All of the administrators, presidents, provosts, trustees, the Naropa faculty, collective, adversaries and friends alike, and friends of Naropa. I want to express enormous gratitude to the 3 leaders of the program who followed me. Gratitude to Jeffrey Seychelle, who brought an extraordinary global vision when we were ready to move to another stage. A revisioning for the MFA that contained a way forward. I'd like to express incredible gratitude to Joan Bremer, who stepped into the chair's role as I stepped out and was in truth at the time my choice as our next leader. And the current chair, Lorenzo Gonzalez, an inspiring and yes, outrageous colleague who has assured that the MFA is ending with the same incredible ethos and will to empower our students that we began with the first cohort in 2004. Lorenzo has tenaciously scratched and scraped to assure that the program accomplishes a cue, an end that is deserving of the Joe, the release of the arrow 15 years ago. I would also like to acknowledge John Cobb, the seeming to me at the time, and I admit I was fooled, but it was a fruitful misreading, at the time, the all-powerful president of Naropa University, who invited me to start this program in 2002, thus creating all kinds of trouble for Naropa. That is, of course, continued to this very day. He has risen to mythical status in my mind, actually, through the years. President Cobb, he set us wittingly or unwittingly on this course in one of the last acts probably of a Naropa founding generation who were deeply schooled in leaping before looking, and in what Chogyam Trungpa famously advised, at least I heard that he said this, when in trouble, start something new. A true statement of the view, heaven first. It's a heaven first view, and then pay attention and be fearless. And I, in turn, as was my charge, I set all of us on a course of all kinds of trouble as well. And thank you, all of you, thank you, all the graduates of this program for choosing this challenge and choosing trouble instead of certainty, learning through generating questions and not answers, befriending the open space of not knowing as the essential stepping stone to right action. This is a ceremony also marking not an ending, but a departure from the institution of a very specific philosophy and pedagogy and view of the role of performing arts in creating culture. To me personally, and meaning no disrespect, it is a great relief and something I welcome that this particular vision is institution-free, so to speak, homeless, and we have regained refugee status. In my view, these are the conditions that actually empower artists, having nothing to cling to, nothing to protect, like our home institutional padding, which is never reliable and often not in the artist's interests, or any number of values that might run counter to the truth. This allows us to tell the truth. I did come to a conclusion many years ago that higher education, specifically MFA degrees, should be free, and unfortunately, none of you have, earned anything from that great insight. That should be free, and I'm working to that end at this point. I wrote this poem, I'm going to read you a little poem, in great hope and despair quite a while ago for my son Kai and for Mary Overly, without whom this particular program would never have occurred. Both of them had minds that could be called originally anarchic, the very best kind of minds. Kai and I mused quite a while on what kind of learning environment we would like to be part of as teachers, and we mused about the old free university movement of the 1960s. So this cri de coeur arose, a poetic proclamation. As I have read it recently, I realized this was what I thought I was doing with the MFA program, the underlying pedagogy. So this is for Mary Overly, without whom this program would never have come into being, and for all of us. I hope you'll hear this as a deadly serious, playful, poetic proclamation spoken to the wind, without hope of fruition, decidedly not a manifesto, but a loving invitation. Pop-up Boulder Free University offering self-conferred degrees in luminosity and non-confirmation. The School of Schools, where the only major is technique. Address all applications to yourself, since money is of no use and no one will bar the door. Where dancers teach philosophy, politics, poetics, home economics, organizational theory, and cooking the id, consuming the ego, chewing well, and shitting perfectly. Where STEMS refers to space, shape, time, emotion, movement, and story, the lenses of perception, expression, and introspection. The philosophers learn to dance, dancers philosophize, engineers measure things beyond measure. All reestablish the inquiry of rigorous, aimless wandering. The readiness of relentless relaxation. Minors offered in dynamic non-doing. The definitive realignment of vertical to horizontal. Math would be invented as needed. Punctuation as well. Luminosity not only allowed but prescribed. Wed to emptiness with no problem whatsoever. And on into humble territory of service, celebration, non-confirmation, reliable revolution. Thanks.
Thank you, Wendell.
Whoever.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I, a couple times a year, will pull out my somatic techniques source book. And as I was planning and arranging this event, I pulled it out. I just wanted to have it close to me. And I, for the first time, noticed the quote on the back of the front page. And I would like to share that quote. It's a Solstrom Gyamtso quote. The person himself knows for sure the nature of his experience. He may call it red. He may not. He may not call it anything. He will never know if anyone experiences anything in the way he does, even if everyone agrees to call the experience they have by the same name. Who can know anything? Who can know how anything is experienced other than the experiencer? Each class in the MFA was as unique as those who were in it. At this time, I wish to introduce our cohort representatives who will share just 2 minutes about their class's Naropa experience. When you hear your name, you will be asked to be unmuted, which you can agree to do. And when your 2 minutes is up, you will hear a chime. So starting out with our first class, the representative for the first class of the MFA Contemporary Performance Program is Jessie Cirillo.
Hi, everybody. I'm not sure if I understood the assignment, but well, I definitely understood it. We'll see how I understood it. I remember coming together to hang the curtains in 91-90. I remember coming together to build the blocks and paint them. One box we built inside the room, and some days later, or was it weeks, we were surprised to discover the box was too big to be taken out. Someone must have disassembled it by now, or maybe then. I don't remember. In my imagination, it is still there. But before the curtains and the blocks, and before we washed all the dishes all together, and before the peacock feathers were given as a weapon and as a gift, there was just the space. And we walked around it, making preparations with stone and flowers and smoke, our voices rising and vibrating. Kiki, so I'm gonna sing a song for you. Class of 2020 and everybody else with the time that is left. I didn't make it alone. It was an exquisite corpse situation. So thank you, Ethy Friend, who, like everyone I met in 91-90, was my teacher. Nothing's ever over, nothing's ever goodbye. What is lovely is the sky, the sky. And what we count on is your eye, your eye. Nothing's ever nothing. Your heart can always cry. is the light, the light. And what is left is the room to fly. Treasure the room to fly. Treasure the room to fly. Treasure the room to fly.
Thank you. Representing the class of 2007, Joe Baker.
Okay, wow, as often was happening back in 2005, I'm now looking towards that first class going, oh, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Did I do the assignment right? Which was my experience of being the second class often in that first year. And I'm shaking. I'm shaking. So what do I want to say about our class? It's in fits and starts here and stops. But I think the biggest thing that I want to say, and I said this to them yesterday, is there was a spirit among us that carried us through, that was not just in the studios. As many of us were breaking in the studio, breaking open, breaking down, breaking apart, we were coming together outside of the studio to, in retrospect, what I see is create a supporting surface. And that supporting surface was full of love and openness, and it was full of, I don't know what the F is gonna happen, but I'm gonna do it with you. And we're gonna figure it out together. And that spirit to this day is holding me. And so what I wanna say, I guess, sort of in closing, because I'm falling apart, is we stand on the shoulders of giants. We stand on Wendell Beaver's shoulders. We stand on Steve Wong's shoulders. We stand on their teachers' shoulders. And we stand on each other's shoulders. And even if I sometimes forget, or I'm not always intentionally, consciously thinking about my class, I'm standing on your shoulders. You remind me to be vulnerable. You remind me to be intentional. You remind me how important it is to allow for ourselves and to gift that to whoever wants to listen, to whoever wants to be available to that. And so we were the second, and in a way I always felt that we were part of the first. In that first year, we were all just trying to figure it out. But I think the biggest thing that I'm taking into my life is this supporting surface. And that's something I think that, I don't know how else to articulate it. You have given me a supporting surface, and I'll have it for the rest of my life, and as will my students, and as will my family. And I love you all.
Thank you, Joe. Representing the class of 2008, Damaris Webb.
Hi. My name is Damaris, and it rhymes with glamorous. And this is the class tribute for 2008. And I'd like to start in the words of CTR. Look, this is your world. You can't not look. There is no other world. This is your world. It is your feast. Look, our shoes scattered at the threshold of the studio, our cohort, Kate Kohler-Amory, Teresa Harrison, Carol Katz, Eliza Ladd, Lori Lynch, Zorwin Madrone, Nicolene Azemi, Ross Pasquale, Bobby Ryan, Tyler Ryan, Lisa Samoy, you get counted twice, Cynthia Ward, Damaris Webb, Jeremy Williams, and Miriam Wolodarski. With kinesthetic delight, we yield to the earth below and the sky above, the scream of the train whistle and the soft shadows of the trees through the window. Look, a birth, a marriage, several late-night performance salons, and a few tearful processing sessions, with guest artists from Daniel Banks to Dan Safer, and our deepest gratitude to Wendell, to Barbara, to Effie, to Steve, to Erica, to Gary, to Liz. Hold, feel, give.
Thank you. And now, representing the class of 2009, Barrett Ogden.
Those are so beautifully composed. I have no hope of coming anywhere close to that. So I'm just going to surrender. My beloved members of the cohort and those of my class, I'm humbled. And thank you for the opportunity to be part of this. I will simply just say a few things that just come spontaneously to mind. From Kim Krantz's book on her archetypes deck, the imaginal is the realm of poetry, images, metaphor, and the imagination. It is the deep mystery where everything is possible. Please note it is the imaginal, not the imaginary. The latter term implies it is not real, whatever that is. The existence of the imaginal, however, is quite palpable here on Earth. When the two worlds collide, they take the form of many things, many conformations, but it is where the archetypes roam, waiting for us to visit. When we were graduating, we were asked about what we got from our experience. I stated, I will go into the darkness, and into the darkness we go, without hope of confirmation, as Wendell says. Love to you all, and I'm a poor speaker and representative on behalf of the community, but I just want to say we were a very varied group. We had our own adventures and misadventures. I, for one, had exactly what I needed to have. Thank you very much on behalf of our group to our beloved mentors. We love you. We love Sharoni, who we lost after graduation. She was my twin in Steve Wong's production that he directed of Our Town, where we shared the role of the stage manager. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. And the same holds true in the present moment, ever unfolding, beginning again and again. The unknown is our friend. Let's keep leaning in with our open heart, because it's needed now more than ever in this world. With love, with lack of judgment, and with a generosity of spirit. Here's to you.
Thank you. And now, representing the class of 2010, Kate Sanderson-Holly.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so my ensemble had a nickname. We called ourselves the Worms of Awareness. I don't really know why we called ourselves the Worms of Awareness. It's been 10 years, but what I remember is that part of it is because we moved like worms all the time. Like I always tell people that I have a master's degree in rolling around on the floor moaning. So I think that's part of it. I also know that there was a story, and it was the story of the lion and the worms. I think it's a Buddhist parable. I don't actually remember it. And when I looked it up on the internet, what I found was way off from what I remembered. So I'm going to tell it to you. in the great oral tradition of how it was told to me yesterday by Gwen, who's my fellow cohort member, and the way that Gwen remembered it from 10 years ago. So the story goes, there was a lion sleeping in the jungle, and all of the other creatures were afraid of it, as you would be of a lion, and they didn't want to wake it up. So they would just like tiptoe and stay away. And this went on for several days, which was very unusual. Lions don't usually sleep for several days. And as it turns out, of course, as all of these other animals were being afraid and creeping around, the lion was dead, and it was being slowly eaten by the worms of awareness. So if our training has taught us to kind of make our own meaning out of whatever it is that we need to make our meaning out of, then I'd like to offer a few pieces of meaning from this story that I think parallel things that we all learned in our program. So one of them is that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest impact. The second one is that there is no right or wrong way to do things. We may have a conditioned response, but actually if we kind of get curious and look at things from a fresh perspective, we find a lot more information than if we go with our conditioned response. It's important to remember that what is happening on the inside is way more important than what it looks like from the outside. Shifting your perspective always brings you into deeper awareness. Everything is impermanent. And we actually left a giant rock at the school. I guess it's gone now. It was our class gift. On it, we inscribed our graduation phrase, good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end, which is a phrase I think about celebrating impermanence. So today, I guess I just want to offer as a closing wish that we celebrate this ending, that we do stand on those shoulders of giants like Joe was talking about. And I want to mention a few more giants just because they were so important to my class. I want to make sure to mention Effie Friend, who lives in my voice and in my soul and in my spirit, and Barbara Dilley, who lives in my rest ethic, and Leanie Sack, who just lives everywhere because she's omnipresent, and Christy Strickland, who taught us about how groups can actually collaborate and led a model for the world that is so desperately needed. And if you got to work with her, I hope you're still living and teaching her work. Lee Fondakowski, Gary Grundy, Stephen Wong, Leon Inglesrud, and of course, Wendell and Erica and everybody else had such a deep impact on us. And it's really a responsibility, an honor, and a privilege that we are now the lineage holders for this immense, insane body of work that you all gave us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And now, representing the class of 2011, Jason Torres.
Hello, does this work? Great. So as some of you may know, I had a Master's of Mythological Studies before I came to Naropa. And last night I found myself reading Ovid's Metamorphosis. And so I got inspired to write a Naropa story of the MFA Theater Contemporary Performance class of 2011. In the beginning, high in the mountain land of Boulder, we had a sensorial feast with a marriage of 13 in moments of union. 2 would annul their vows, and the remaining 11 crawled, odd, eed, ode, while contemplatively dancing in scores and contorting in the shadow of luminous emptiness. In the second semester, we proclaimed the extended Shakespearean voice and sung of Meredith Monk, ah! With the class of 2010 in substitute for Effie as we entered the red square of spontaneous arising, stomping with viewpoints of corporeal acting scenes and moments that worked in closing of the year. We danced into our second year with ghostly bodies as we entered a mad forest of uncertainty and reclamation, finding our way out together in the end. As our finale approached, without Wendell's embodied presence, we took to our visions of our performative selves, losing one, yet knowing she was in good company with 2012. The remaining 10 created, performed, and we were the champions as we lamented at the closing with a final bow to each other and all of our teachers and our lineage.
Thank you. And now, representing the class of 2012, Joe Gill.
Hi, everybody. I'm really overwhelmed by all of this today, and I just want to thank you all for being here. One thing that I remember mostly from our class was with first day, Wendell gathered us all together and mentioned this word ensemble, and to give us the true meaning of ensemble. And our group really did form an ensemble. We came together, and it really was a forming of my heart and my home. And one of our good times that we did have together, we really did come together through a lot of trials and tribulations, was the time when we performed with Steve Wong and Gary Grundy. We did The Tempest, and we made it into a musical. I am not a singer, and I'm going to prove that in a minute. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about The Tempest was we really got to work together, and it was a beautiful memory for me. And so there's one song in that I always said, what are these songs going in the middle of this thing? But it was a brilliant song called Home. And I'm going to do my little higher voice that Brent, he had sung this in the play. So he goes, home, yes, I am home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Then Gustine goes, home, yes, I am home. Home is whenever I'm with you. And that is the true meaning of what Naropa has given me and given our group. You gave me a foundation and grounded us. You gave us support so that I can go further. You taught us new and many things. And our ensemble kept on changing throughout our piece. We started with, I think, about 10 people, and we ended up with about 8 or 9. And one person that did join us was Becca, and I was fortunate to work with her the last semester. But mostly I want to thank Peter, Gustine, Haruna, Scott, Kevin, Tristan, and mostly somebody who really, somebody who embodied this program, who took on every aspect of Naropa and grew, and that is Miles Golden. She was a warrior. Oh, crap. She was a comedian and a clown. But she did this program. She came from a different world, came into this and really fought. And so I'd like to, if you could, take 15 seconds, not to memorialize her, but to really let her enter you, be part of you. Her spirit always lives with me. I'm sorry. I thank you all. So if we could take 15 seconds. Thank you. Truly thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. And now, to represent the class of 2013, Mark Devine.
Thank you, Monica, and thank you, Joe, for that. A special place for Miles. So thank you for that. What a special place that Naropa was for us as a cohort, and it sounds like it is for everyone. I was trying to think of how I could encapsulate our experience as a class, and the thing that came to mind for me was change. It was a place of transformation. Monica, you posted the video or the photograph of 9190 at the beginning of this, and I have to wonder about those spaces because they were just containers that shaped everyone, an empty space that we could enter and we could carve and we could be molded by each other. So I had such a journey there, and I know I was able to see that with the people I was surrounded with, my cohort, and so I thank you for that. We formed bonds, we formed friendships, and we also challenged each other. We pushed back when we needed to. We held space for each other to struggle. We held space for each other to experience joy. We held space for each other to fall apart. And even as we hold space for each other now in this commemoration, as we sort of bring Naropa to an end, I have just tremendous gratitude. I'll say that I've been extremely uplifted by my cohort because I continue to see all of you and us. We continue to take what we've learned and it has changed us, and we continue to bring that out into the world. I've seen it in education. I've seen it in your artistry. I've seen it in the way that you run arts organizations. I've seen it in your activism. I've seen the way that what we've been, the seeds that have been planted with us, we are able to spread them. And I see the way that it impacts the students that I teach now in a very direct way. And I feel like there is a great need for everything that has changed us to be shared. I'd just like to say thank you again for our cohort, and especially to our faculty and instructors for pushing us and for shaping us, and for us for shaping each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Whew. And now, the representative for the class of 2014, Ana Pantaran Vindemanes.
Am I live? Okay, I'm going to assume that I am live. I don't know. So, yes, I want to start with one of my favorite ethics class warm-ups because I don't wanna. I arrived to Naropa, and probably my class know it, kind of randomly. When I got there, I learned that a lot of my beautiful cohort members went there with like a lot of knowledge of the philosophy, the teachers, the practice, and I was blissfully ignorant of viewpoints, of Roy Hart, of all of that. I went to Naropa because I wanted to be a better artist. And when I was doing research, I went to the Naropa website, and I was telling Nate, who is next to me, while I was listening to the rest of the classes, the picture of the tempest was there. So it was great to hear what class was that, and to be reminded right now. And by the end of my research and just looking at the website, I was just sobbing. So Naropa spoke to me, even though I didn't know. And I feel today and yesterday, I started feeling this sense of I feel orphan now, but that's okay. And I don't want to go deep into that because it's not the time for that. But what I want to do is I'm going to read a excerpt of Jack Kerouac's poem, Mexico City Blues. And it goes like this. This thinking is stopped. Buddha's secret moonlight is the ancient virtue of laying up and thinking happy and comfortable thoughts. This which modern society has branded loafing is made available to people now apparently only by junk. Self depends on existence of other selves, and so no solo universal self exists. No self, no other self, no innumerable selves, no universal selves, and no ideas relating to existence or non-existence, therefore. The greatest who has undertaken to comfort innumerable beings. The kind one, the art of kindness master, the master of wisdom, the great ferryman, the great vehicle being. He who is free from arbitrary concepts of being or non-being, the genius of the elephant, the destroyer of the elephant trainers by death, the destroyer of elephants by death, the destroyer of death, the destroyer and exterminator of dead, exterminator of being and non-being, the essence master, the womb, the manifestor, man's made essence, essence made man, the maker of light, the destroyer of light. I caught a cold from the sun when they tore my heart out at the top of the pyramid. All the waddle, tutti, bluty, window poppies of Fela, town that rose at noon when priests dare to lick their lips over my thumping meat heart. The sacrilegious beast at me 10,000 million times I came back, splitting pulque. It's actually said pulque, I should know that. It's Spanish. Spitting pulque in borracho orc saloons of old sour Azteca, asking for more. I popped out of Popocatépet's hungry mouth. Popocatépetl's hungry mouth. And as I arrived to Naropa randomly, I also kind of picked this poem randomly. So, yeah.
Thank you, Anna. And now, to represent the class of 2015, Katie Jones.
Hi, everybody. As I'm thinking about all of these different classes and the lineage that we're part of, I was struck by, I think it was class of 2010, that said the thing about their cohort having a name. Our cohort was the Prairie Dogs. And I remember Kate Moore from our class saying that prairie dogs have their own language. And my class certainly did. I have never felt more of an instant unity and trust with an ensemble as I did those other 8 people. And Wendell with viewpoints and developmental technique, Erica with somatic movement, Ethy with Roy Hart, Joan with the whole history of the avant-garde and Suzuki, and also just being a great advisor and leader for our cohort. And of course, the life-changing study that we had with Winnie Sack, I think held our cohort in great support because all of us were young in our careers. And I think Naropa has been a great foundation for just having peace in your core. And I know that a lot of the lessons that we've learned have changed us irrevocably as artists and people. I'm specifically remembering Robert Spellman also, who we had meditation with every week. And Robert Spellman said in one class, you have about a quarter of a second between the moment that something happens to you and your reaction. And he didn't say this next part, but what I took that to mean is that we have a choice in all of our feelings and in all of our actions and in the ways that we treat people and in the ways that we live. And I know that I look back on those moments all the time, and all the techniques are amazing, but I think at the base core that entering into the contemplative world, I think was one of the biggest sort of anchors for my class. And even though I haven't seen any of you really, except Ben, one time came to Asheville a couple of years ago, I miss all of you all the time. And I know that in every bit of work that I do, you're always with me. All of the teachers, the students, Naropa is ever present. And to you, 2020 cohort, I know that you're going to be amazing. And I hope sincerely that our Naropa family stays in touch and that we continue this lineage rootless. So thank you and love to you all.
Thank you, Katie. And now to represent the class of 2016, Leslie Grasha.
So I am representing Christopher Dorje Baker, Leslie Grasha, Kate Holden, Nathan Jeremy Logan, Troy McCall, Caitlin Tella, Teresa Veramendi, and Stephanie Wilbert. And we came together as a cohort, 8 very different people, very different ages, backgrounds, artistic lineages and aesthetics, and somehow formed a cohort. In our first year, we nicknamed ourselves Team Tsunami, because looking at how do we follow Naropa's motto and transform ourselves and then transform the world, it seemed like the best way to transform the world was if a tsunami would wipe everything out. And as we sit here on Zoom, because of a global pandemic, Team Tsunami feels very present. And the tools we learned, including you don't have to like each other, but you have to love each other. Learn to sit in the fire and just be. Being aware of space. We took in our second year, we did a performance under the direction of Steve Wong and the musical direction of Gary Grundy, and brought all of our diverse backgrounds and aesthetics and training from Naropa, from all of our amazing faculty, into this weird, wonderful, improvised performance that was unique every night and born out of a contemplative space. And I feel like those are the tools that we can truly now move forward, continue moving forward. Many of you have already been out in the world using this work. So grateful for you all, past, present, and future cohorts, this cohort of 2020. And yeah, if we can take these amazing tools and transform the world, and I'm forever changed and grateful for every one of you out there doing this work, and for our amazing faculty who led the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. And now to represent the class of 2017, Mike Sater.
Hello everyone. Monica, I just want to say I love you and miss you very much. And Leslie, thank you for that. I love and miss you too. This is a happy occasion, as I do in most vulnerable situations. I don't ever be fooled into thinking that joy isn't the most vulnerable emotion available to us. I will feel it in my own way, but I will fall back on flowery prose that sounded really great in my head. If you were to deconstruct yourself, piece by piece, and then the pieces of those pieces and the pieces therein, and so on and so forth, until you were nothing more than a pile of nuclear powder. None of it would have ever been alive, but all of it was once you. I suggest doing this from time to time to rearrange yourself in the portrait you see of you. This portrait will change drastically over the years, morphed by age and experience and advice and good food and other people and love and loss and drugs and exercise and of almost anything else you can do or say or see in a day. It is, of course, close to a pandering platitude for me to say that permanence is death, so I will not say it. But I will mean it. I learned that here. My time here was joyful and fraught. It was simultaneously one of the most inspiring times in my life and frustrating and sad and a never-ending font for the anxiety that both fuels any ambition I feel and also cripples me. To be perfectly honest, I have trouble telling you about my experience here because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Joshua, Jade, China, Lena, Mike, Mark, it would be impossible for me to speak of our experience. My cohort of incredibly talented, complex individuals, we did not always look in the same direction. We attended this program in a period of drastic change, and I will always be thankful for it. I will always remember work lamps and scaffolding, Taco Tuesdays and fancy cocktails, rooftop clubs and skee ball, Three Sisters and mirror tunnels and red handprints and the sounds of celestial bodies and pool parties and sitting down to a beautiful meal I was not allowed to eat. I will remember shit-kicking realism and red squares, trying on ball gowns and tessellating, the atrium, transformed storage closets, the faulty locks on the costume room, and tiny mysterious doors, of seeing the universe with Optimus Prime, of parsing out Pinter and yielding and pushing and singing and composing and dancing and yielding and pushing and yielding and pushing, of Joes and Q's, of the noble prairie dog, of Diet Coke and parade and silence and being your true self. And I want to say to Jeffrey that he is dearly missed. I left some of my best friends here, friends I cannot wait to return to. I left work that I've returned to over and over again whenever I feel lost, and left a time I can never return to but will always be a part of me. I have so many pieces yearning for a place to return to, as I know you do, so go find them a home and keep working without hope or fear, if that is how you operate. Personally, I hope very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to represent the class of 2018, Gabby Petrov.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Oh my God, is it my time? Can people see me? Okay. I can't speak because I'm just gonna not be understood, I think. So I'm gonna read something that I wrote. It's called Things I Remember. The circle of red cushions, adjusting of scarves, occasionally jerking out of a nap, struggling, the shape of the circle holding us up, sitting tightly around the gray conference tables with Jeffrey and his big gulp, hearing each other's voices, thoughts, minds, getting to know you, to respect you. The blueness of the sky, the dry air, seeing mountains every day, seeing snow on the farthest ones. Holding paper houses, peering in, dancing to Frank Sinatra, singing, growing, struggling, mentoring each other, being angry at each other, being angry at the school, being angry at ourselves, crying, laughing, sitting together on red cushions, struggling less or not. The eyes of our teachers, their hands, the faces of our teachers. It's like we set sail to an unknown faraway place and came back different, trying to understand, to describe to people what we saw, what we found, facing confusion, judgment from others, from ourselves, not knowing what it means, knowing exactly what it means. It feels like remembering a dream sometimes, but I was there with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to represent the class of 2019, Sadie Issex.
Hello, coming to you live from New York City. Here we go. 1 year out. 1 year out, and being in the studio with my cohort feels like a distant dream. And yet that time in Boulder still feels very vivid and present in my body. I think the thing I miss the most is having a shared language. The world outside Naropa is very big, and people who are intimately aware of their nervous system are hard to come by. Although we are in different spaces in time with different stories and shapes, we are all connected by our shared love for self-knowledge, theater, and building a compassionate world. Together and apart, we studied how to embrace change and continuously welcome the present moment. And now, adapting to a global pandemic, we are witnessing the blatant corruption of the oligarchy, the stark disproportion of wealth, and the devastating effects this is having on Black, Indigenous, people of color communities all over the world. Simultaneously, we are seeing people slow down and turn inward. We are seeing virtual communities dedicated to well-being and social justice arising and connecting across vast expanses of space. And we are seeing the advantages of having spent hours dedicated to repatterning our bodies and minds for the benefit of all beings. It is our job as spiritual warriors to continue the work we have done at Naropa and share our understanding of an enlightened society. We are currently witnessing our community connecting even when we aren't physically present with each other. We have what it takes to get creative and imagine new avenues of performance and interaction. We built a strong foundation at Naropa to yield into. May we always push to reach. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, representing the final class of the MFA Theater Contemporary Performance Program, the graduating class of 2020, David Privebi.
Sure. Hi, guys. I'm David, and wow, a chance to speak here was amazing. I was thinking about what to say or how to express, how to sum up 11 people's disparate experiences in our 2 years there, and I just kept coming back to words, individual specific words. Excitement. When we got there, we were new. This was a whole new thing. We were, as Wendell put it, stepping into the unknown. I came from a very technical educational background, have my undergrad in computer science, so stepping into this kind of world was totally new and exciting and beautiful and fun. Creative or creativity, just the gathering together and doing viewpoints and scripting a self with Serena and learning to write and learning about our bodies and how it feels to be in our bodies and to be present, and learning about our voice and how to express ourselves, and learning how to put our voice into the world, so our voice both literal and metaphorical. Delightful words like paradox, with a nice shout out to Bradford there, and my least favorite phrase at Naropa became "find a spot on the floor." The phrase I will return to throughout my artistic career will be "find a spot on the floor." I will probably teach with the phrase "find a spot on the floor." It is so powerful, finding a spot. Collaborative with moment work, devising shows, learning to build theater as a group, learning to work in the horizontal, learning to be separate and yet together, devising individual pieces that somehow made a cohesive whole, just like we as individual people somehow make a cohesive whole. Supporting surface was a great phrase from, I loved it. Caring faculty, stressed out that third semester that practically broke us. Non-closure, as will be these words as we fade out and we move on to our next shows.
Thank you. Thank you to all of the class representatives and all of the alumni for your words, your sounds, your music, for your movements today and always. I want to name, before moving on, that in true fashion, we are running a little bit late. So please know that we want for all of you to stay and continue to be a part of the rest of the ceremony, where we will hear from faculty. And also we recognize that we are moving beyond the time that you may have scheduled for this. So I just want to name that. And before we move on to hear from the next speakers, I just want to take a few moments to honor those who have come through this program who are no longer with us. First off, as you may have seen in the chat, we got word from Leni yesterday that Moose is making his transition into the greatest of the unknowns. Moose was a familiar face to many of us who were in Leni's classes. Moose was Leni's co-teacher and companion and service animal, and will be greatly missed. Now I'd like to take one moment of silence. We'll take 1 minute for students who have taken their teachings beyond this life. Miles Parisha Golden, class of 2012, and Sharoni Stern, class of 2009. To honor faculty member and chair of the MFA, Jeffrey Sechel, current department chair Lorenzo Gonzalez will read Where the Mind Is Without Fear.
I'm just gonna take a few seconds just to introduce this. When Jeffrey first arrived in Boulder, he stayed at the guest artist apartment in Eisenhower Drive, where I also lived. So we got to spend many an hour yabbering about theater, and one of those occasions I remember him talking passionately about an assignment for his students, which involved the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore, and quoting this poem as one of his favorites. It was written during the period of Britain's rule over India in the form of a prayer to the bearer of freedom. And Tagore wrote this poem calling for his country's emancipation. But I would say that for Jeffrey, theater was his best loved country. And for him, this was an invocation to all artists to find our self-determination and right to act, speak, and think without hindrance or restraint, which is something that he always instilled in his students. where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches in arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. We will miss you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Let's take 1 minute of silence for Jeffrey Stewart Chassell, Chair of the MFA Theater Contemporary Performance Program from 2015 to 2017. Thank you all. May we continue to hold them in our hearts and in our spirits for today and every day moving forward. What we are seeing reflected from all of what the alumni have said and what the current students are offering is an honor of our lineage. It is those who transmit the teachings who have touched our lives, our hearts, our spirit, and our work. And at this time, I invite founding faculty member Ethy Friend to speak to us. Ethy?
Thank you, Monica. I'm going to gallery view because all I want to do is sit here with you and see you. Thanks for all the words I just heard from all of you, beautiful students. You have undone me, and you have helped me to understand who I am and what I'm feeling today. Jesse, that box that was put together in 9190 then was too big to be moved out. That's me. You all put me together and made me grow in ways that are impossible to describe. And now I can't be moved out of this thing called the MFA without being taken apart again. And I am being taken apart, dismantled, as many of you have used those words to describe your experience, your 2 years of work. So yeah, the first memory I have of being part of this program was just running around in 9190 after that first class had introduced themselves to us, and this feeling of incredible like honor, responsibility, and I just ran around from wall to wall, like tagging the wall and like shouting all your names out loud, you know, and calling out your names, and just calling out for help. How am I going to serve these amazing artists? So I'm going to be a little bit predictable though, and I'm going to leave you with some words by Alfred Wolfson. Of course, I'm thinking about the voice work and my own voice helping me through this time. And that Alfred Wolfson's work his discovery about what the voice is and who we are through the voice, you know, came out of World War I, you know, came out of great tragedy and insanity. So the voice is here for us. And here's a quote from Alfred Wolfson for all of you alumni. The artist is here to let stream out the grace which they have received. This grace is their very life, which radiates from within and compels them to serve. Radiating with you today.
Thank you, Effie. I would like to invite Lorenzo Gonzalez, current MFA department chair from 2017 to the present.
Whoa. Well, I didn't have anything quite prepared, but I appreciate very much what Joe Baker said in that quote about standing on the shoulders of giants, which we stand on the shoulders of giants so we can see farther, and it's supposedly attributed to Sir Isaac Newton talking about Galileo, and so that's the way I kind of feel sometimes, that I'm standing on the shoulders of Wendell, and that means that he's Galileo and I'm Sir Isaac Newton. So maybe that's not the best of all things, but my best story I have is with Wendell. You know, he was always complaining because I always dragged him into these improvisations where he had to act, and he was, you always make me do these things, and one of them was when we had to reenact the story of Naropa and the hag, and so Wendell played the hag, and I played Naropa, and so Wendell tapped into his eternal feminine really well, and you know, he had to say the words about, like, do you understand the words or do you understand the sense of the words? And so I think that has always been the guiding principle for me in terms of running the program, is to make sure that it is contemporary, that it is about being in the now, and it's not necessarily about comprehension, but about giving it extraordinary sense. And so, you know, thank you all for the opportunity you have all given me, and I love you all and I miss you.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Now I would like to invite Joan Brummer Holden, acting chair from 2014 to 2015.
Oh, I have to do something. What do I do?
You can just speak.
Oh, well, hello everyone. Okay, I wrote something because I didn't trust myself not to. And as you all know, I probably won't understand my handwriting either. But here it goes. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. It was a place where dreams were broken, fulfilled, and discovered. My name is Joan Brimmer Holden, and there are two things you should know about me. I am more sensitive than I appear, and you don't really know me until you've seen me perform. That was how I started my introduction to a room of mostly strangers in August 2004. Little did I know that that was the beginning of so many things, and little did I know how true and how wrong those two statements were. It was the beginning of great friendships, artistic discovery, triumphs, and pits of deep despair, uncovering and opening up like an onion and unfolding like a fresh cotton sheet. I feel very fortunate to have been a part of this program as a student and as a faculty. I am blessed with each interaction with all of the students I taught. Our room, a laboratory where I hope to facilitate discoveries and challenges and artistic brilliance in all. And sometimes that room created moments of great transcendence, and sometimes I failed miserably to create the environment I was looking for. But every time there was a learning and an opportunity to begin again. Many of you have become dear friends and beloved colleagues. To work with all of the brilliant faculty and guest artists that have been a part have been profound, each one's teaching deeply affecting my own. The courageousness to keep working and deepening our work with the students as a constant delight. The students, each of you coming here with your gifts, allowing yourself to be open, to step into the journey or into the resistance, to challenge us, to discover another path. Many of you finding things here you didn't even know you wanted. All of you warrior artists. Now more so than ever, the last graduating class, a cohort as powerful and resilient and fierce and feisty as they come, rolling with the challenges, holding each one up together and making brilliant, beautiful, soulful work in the process. I am honored to have had time with you and happy to welcome you into the MFA alumni group. I found these words in Barbara Dilley's book, and they struck me to the muscular, skeletal, cellular being of who I am and who this program can be to everyone. Our partnership is an ancient one, and the intimacy we share is special to long friendships. Little is said, much is known, we are together and alone. As the very nature of our craft changes in this crisis, I believe the work all of you have done here positions you to help devise the new theater. The yearning for getting back to normal can be burst apart, and the creativity of think and group mind of 100+ people can forge something new and exciting. If nothing else at Naropa, we learn to be warrior artists, and the landscape leads us now in that direction. We cannot let the past dictate our future. In the words of Benoit, impermanence is a thing. Space is there for everyone. So I leave you with this final poem by Rumi. Many of you have heard me quote it in the past, and I find it deeply comforting over the years, and I find myself returning to it again and again and again. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful to whoever comes, because each one has been sent as a guide from beyond. Cheers to all of the warrior artists forged in the fiery cauldron of the Naropa MFA in contemporary performance. Be well, go forth and prosper. Kiki Soso.
Thank you, Joan. Now I would like to invite to speak founding faculty Erica Berland.
Well, I'm moved to tears to see all of you. And I also wrote something because I didn't know what I would say. Probably nothing. So I want to start out by saying I am satisfied. I feel a deep satisfaction as I've heard through the years of all of your art adventures, your bravery in stepping out into new realms of expression and teaching and helping this suffering world. I am satisfied, and true to the etymology of the word, I am sad as well. I want to hug you all. I want to roll around with you on the floor. I want to gossip with you. I want to hear everything. Nonetheless, I am satisfied because I learned everything I do and will continue to do from all of you. That's not just a nice expression. You trained me. You honed my language. You showed me what worked and what didn't. You forced me to edit the somatic work down to the pithy bones. You showed me how to let go of the padding and get to the heart of the matter. Of course, there's more to go for all of us, but I am satisfied. And I thank you for all your good hearts, for sharing your brilliance through all the years. I feel like I share something very deep with all of you, and that will be with me forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. This just gets harder and harder to facilitate as we go on, so forgive me. I also would like to invite Barbara Dilley, founding faculty of the MFA program, as well as Naropa University president from 1985 to 1993.
First of all, I want to say that this epic transition of our world is breaking me open moment by moment, and seeing and hearing all of you and feeling such gratitude to Wendell for the invitation to participate in the great cauldron of the MFA and its epic transformation of my understanding and my teaching, as many have said. It's a stunning time we're in, and I've come up with very pithy images as I contemplated this moment of connecting through this new lens platform where I'm sitting in my house and speaking into space and seeing images on my screen. The first phrase is from an American Zen teacher. Only don't know. So we are in a time now of not knowing a great deal. And it's a powerful practice to come back to again and again, be willing to surrender to only don't know. And to wait, to learn to wait with that, to wait with only don't know until you hear or you feel or you sense a way to go forward or a no. Only don't know, or the sacred I don't know. I don't know. And the next one that popped up was this old experience or old expression, small is beautiful. Living room art, you know, the art of our homes. Watching people, the intimacy of watching people share their creative outpouring through this little camera, and I feel and sense their humanness in a way that I would not if I was sitting in a large theater. So art of everyday, small, beautiful, simple. And unlimited friendliness is the last one. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad I finished my ugly crying before I had to come back to see you all again. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everyone. The core faculty passed on to us the core teachings of the program. But it was the guest faculty and the guest artists who made each year unique. At this time, anyone who came to Naropa as guest faculty or as a guest artist may, in no particular order, say a few words to describe your experience. Please be brief in your expressions, as there are many of you and never enough time. And if you have a faculty or guest artist next to your name, you can feel free to unmute yourself. And I would like to start this section off, please, with Steve Wong.
Hi. This event has been more moving than I could have imagined. As Barbara just said, this is a stunning time we're in. And I find myself stunned a great deal. It's very, very, very moving to see all of you. I feel like we're living in a time when we're very, very alive to death. And I'm grateful to Naropa for having made a space in which I could grow stronger to bear the time we're in. So a few notes of gratitude. I'm grateful to Wendell, first of all, for inviting me to Naropa at all, but also for things he taught me. You know, when I was studying over years and years, 6 viewpoints with Wendell, it never occurred to me before this pandemic that being conscious of space or of what I did with my hands would turn out to be a life and death sort of awareness. I'm grateful to my teacher, Jerzy Grotowski, for having taught me about the human ability to bear enormous emotions, to understand that it's okay, more than okay, to feel burning anger and wild love and enormous oceanic sadness. Because now, thanks to COVID-19, I find myself thinking that we all may need those abilities just to live in this world. And I'm grateful to the Buddha for my practice. I've never turned to sitting so often outside of a retreat as I have in the past 2 months, and it's sustained me. And I'm grateful to all of you for giving me the time and the space to deepen my practice in all these directions. So may all these dharmas and this sangha provide support and refuge for all of you throughout your lives. Thank you.
Guest faculty and guest artists, please feel free for the next 7 to 10 minutes. It's kind of an open forum for you to say whatever you'd like.
I'll go ahead and talk. Hi, I'm Meredith Grundy from the class of 2007. I also had the honor of being a guest instructor for the last few years, and I was not prepared to say anything at all. I did get an email from Lee Fondakowski this morning asking that I read some words to you, and I also wanted to pass on that Gary Grundy also sends his love. So here we go. From Lee, and this is my own addition to it, but we begin. Blessings to all of you on your continued artistic paths. It was a privilege and a joy of my life to walk beside you as a witness and collaborator in the time that was shared. My heart is full, remembering your beautiful, whimsical, and magical moments. You never cease to amaze me and surprise me. I am still inspired by all that you created and by your energy and genuine love of your craft. May all of your future work be blessed. May each of you fulfill your highest potential. Now more than ever, we need your voices. We need a spirit of innovation and of service to carry us through. The contemplative training and the legacy of the work generated at Naropa have you all poised to be the maker, the creators who will heal and uplift our troubled world. A new art will be born from this time. I am convinced of this. And you will all be its stewards. I miss you. I love you. I am so very proud of each and every one of you. You all touched my life in such a meaningful way. To the class of 2020, I applaud you. I cannot wait to see the work that you will make, and the world will be blessed forward. Onward, we end.
Hello?
Well, I'll jump in, even though I don't have guest artist next to my name because I spontaneously arose from the wrong time zone, so I was an hour late. But I just wanted to say hello to everybody and to say I'm sad that I only got to be with the classes that I got to be with, because the particular heart that comes to Naropa is so beautiful and special. And I don't know all of your faces, but as I go over these tiles that are my new social environment, I keep going, oh, that particular magic, you know, like I see the different faces, and you're just a special, wonderful group of people. And I guess as this mandala dissolves, you know, I think my own experience working at Naropa, I feel so often as we work, we don't even know what we're trying to do, or at least that's my experience. I feel like I'm just groping forward in the darkness, and I look back at my time at Naropa and I see now that the work that I'm doing around affect and like against narrative all came from the work that I did with all of you. And I guess it's just for those of you who feel like you might still be groping in the darkness a little bit, I'd say don't worry about it too much, because you know, you have the hearts that will move you forward. And it's lovely seeing you all. Thank you.
Can I jump in here? Okay, am I audible? Hello? Yes, okay.
You are good to go, Robert, yes.
Okay, thank you. This is a strange format for me. This is my first time, okay? It's my first time on Zoom. Anyway, I am so happy to see all of you and to hear, I know many of you and I've seen many of you perform over the years. I came into the program a little bit late, but mainly I want to do something slightly future oriented, and that is to invite you to go to a website called mountainwater.space. My wife and I both taught at Naropa for many years, and we have retired from there, but we built a facility in the beautiful valley in southern Colorado with the express purpose of having art and meditation happen in a beautiful environment. We have it all built. We're ready to fling open the doors, and the plague hit. So that will pass, we hope. But we have this facility and it's set up for painting and music and writing and meditation and eating and drinking and just weeping. So please do, if you're interested, go to mountainwater.space and put yourself on the mailing list, and we hope to see you here. Best of luck to all of you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Stanton, and part of the class of 2006, but I just want to say it was such an honor to teach during the fall of 2012, so that I got to be at least a little bit a part of the graduating class of 2013 and graduating class of 2014. It really was an honor, and I'm so grateful for all of Naropa in its entirety. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to say something. It's I have my own category, neither guest artist or faculty or student, so my own category. It's amazing to see all of you, and I shared with somebody once already, you've been a big, huge part of my life at Naropa, which is pretty substantial at this point as far as years go. But to have known all of you and to have seen your work and to know that what I observed and being like immersed and introduced to an art form that I was not familiar with, and to learn and to grow from that with you has just been such an honor. And I really hope you all continue, because, you know, when you're just a person like around the orb and you get to bear witness to so much of what's been developed in each of you over the years, you all have such magic and energy and openness. And like everybody's saying, the world sure needs that now. So I hope, you know, any qualities of leadership that you develop that way can be connected to everything else that you know, and that you can go out there and lead and open doors for other people, open their hearts and their minds as well. So thank you for everything you've given me. It's been quite a lot. So thank you. And all the guest artists and everybody who came, who we housed and fed and and partied with once in a while. So love to all of you. Oh, and thanks, Wendell, for hiring me.
Any other guest artists who would like to share?
I'll say something brief, Monica. There's just a quote that I love from Tennyson. I am part of all that I have met. And I always add, all that I have met has become part of me. And may ensemble live in your bones as the world dismantles and remantles. What a gift to witness you all and be part of your journey. So much love. Yeah, I'm grateful.
Leni Sack was not able to join us today. She is with her beloved. She did leave me with a few words that she wanted me to share. May the long time sunshine on you all, love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. From Leni. If there are any other guest artists who would like to, we have about 1 more minute. Thank you. And now we come to the future. The program at Naropa has ended, but it is all of us who have been touched by this lineage who will carry it forward into the world. We are tasked with planting seeds of mindful, contemplative, contemporary, postmodern, and sometimes just flat out weird performance to the generations of artists and the current generations of audiences. At this time, I want to encourage everyone to open your chat box. It's at the bottom of the black screen, and if you don't see it there, you may have to select the 3 dots at the bottom. I will be, in just a few moments, putting some text in there so that you may follow along with our final ceremony. And now, if Erica and Wendell are prepared, we'll pass the ceremony along. They want to share just a couple of upcoming offerings that they have, as well as a final last song for the MFA Theater Contemporary Performance. They may have some adjusting to do, but until now, we'll give it to them. You are.
Thanks, Monica. So we're going to transition. We're going to really transition into our closing for sure. But this thing about the future, I think it's even vaster than the past and the present. And we have a couple of things, but one reason we wanted to bring this up is that we all know that the work we're doing is ongoing and you're all doing it. So we had 2 offerings that we wanted to offer, and we don't mean, I feel like all of these offerings that all of us might be offering each other are equal. And I want to say one thing, 2 things. One is that, do you want to talk about yours first? Okay. Not sure, just like starting the program, I'm not sure I should do this or whether it's even a valuable thing to do. But I'm going to offer 3 sessions, just Zoom sessions, free sessions once a week, starting probably the week after next, that are kind of a throwback to the kind of lectures I used to do with you guys. And again, I think where I've graduated to myself is everything I seem to be doing is to educate myself and it's for my own benefit, and I would love you to join me. But so I have 3 talks. These are 1.5 hour sessions. We'll send you. I have 3 1/2 hour sessions. One is basically a review of the pedagogy as it looks from here. And so I'm going to give a little lecture about that, and we can have discussion about that. The second one is the state of performing arts education and cultural education as I'm seeing it now. So these are my opinions I'm going to give you, but I'd like to discuss that and then harvest from you what you think where things are right now. And there's lots of specific things. And the other talk is about 47 ideas for taking the initiative to create the space to do the work we love. And the 47 is a metaphor of innumerable. So, and I have those ideas as well. And so I'm going to do a lecture of about 45 minutes, and then we can talk for 45 minutes. And those are all kinds of seed ideas and a way that we can just keep sharing directly. So I'm going to end. If no one comes to those, it's just perfectly fine because you have full lives. So there it is. You will not be graded, pass, fail, or any other way. So there we are. And Erica, quickly.
Yeah, I just also, in the spirit of the times as well, I just wanted to offer 3 sessions as touchback into your mindfulness awareness practice. There'll be just 1 hour sessions starting not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. And similarly, I'll be doing guided contemplations, somatic contemplations and practice, and then a little theme with a little discussion just for 1 hour. And it's a way for some of us who might feel like this is a time we might want to dive back in and kind of remember our tradition at Naropa. So we'll send you links for these, and it will be fun and nice to be together again. So.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do, and Monica, you can help us facilitate this, is we're going to transition from our living room out into our estate here on 19th Street in Boulder. And I was going to turn it off, but maybe I'll let you take a little tour. We've gotten extremely nostalgic ourselves here, and so in our living room studio, this is what we've been living with. It's helped us a lot. I don't know if you remember them. And we're going to go out. What? Monica, do you have anything more to say before we do this?
I could make something up.
No, I don't think we need filler exactly, do we?
I don't think we do.
Okay, cool. There's so much glare out here, I can't see a thing, so we'll try this. Would you like to do this on the ground? Like go down on to the ground? Okay. We did rehearse, but the wind was blowing. And
So can you see that?
yeah, so Erica's going to speak about this ceremony, the Lost Song, which all of you did. But we did start the whole program this way, actually, not down here on our knees in our backyard, but walking through the whole building at Nalanda doing a Lost Song.
So before we do the Lost Song, can you hear me? It's okay. I'd like to read a poem by Chogyam Trungpa that I think we read this poem almost every graduation. So this is our final poem called Lion's Roar, and it has a very wrathful energy, which I think is good. And so we can kind of jump off of that.
It was written for the first graduation of Naropa University in the 1970s. Yeah.
So 1977, first graduating class of Naropa University, Naropa Institute. Lion's Roar. Genuine people bring genuine intellect. Genuine mind brings genuine discipline. Genuine teacher and student bring true wisdom. Naropa, the great Siddha, brought the spotless discipline of the practice lineage.
Theory is empty head without brains. Chatting logicians are the parrot flock. Clever psychologists swallow their own tongues. Chic artists manufacture garbage collages. At this illustrious institute, we are free from confusion. Let us celebrate in the name of sanity. Let us proclaim the true discipline. Let us rejoice. The eternally rising sun is ever present. In the name of the lineage, I rejoice. And now we will do our lawsong, which I think many of you are familiar with. And the feeling here is to purify the space and to purify a quality of letting go of our negativity and opening the space. And I thought as we do the lawsong, which you can follow in the chat, we might make an aspiration that anything we have learned, anything that we have gained, that we can offer it as benefit for others, especially during this time when that is needed so greatly. So we can maybe make our own aspiration. And I think Monica's gonna put the chant, it's short in the beginning, and then we'll be doing our kiki so-so, and I'll be moving the smoke around.
Great. If you put this right here, I think it'll smoke. I put it right here.
Do they see it?
I don't know. I'll hold it.
Let me see.
I think you're going to have to do the chant because I'll hold this. Let you do the chant.
Breathe the virtuous mark, the great banner of inspiring wind horse, and these clouds of offerings of all desirable things. We offer to you, great being Gaysar, with your retinue. Fulfill all our wishes, be victorious in all directions. Kiki, so-so,
Hello, Taxian, Kundrum, Yarke.
Kiki, so-so,
Hello, Taxian,
Thank you all. And let us end, as we always do, with a bow.